as you slowly reach your hand towards the surface of the mirror. Abort. You clearly have not thought this through. You won't like what you see. Yeah, there is definitely something wrong with it. Where to even begin? There is the bloatedness, then the swollenness. It's like there's an upholstery of alcohol underneath your skin. Bet you are. Your nose feels like a small balloon in the middle of your face. It hurts when you honk it. It doesn't appear to be a particularly tiny nose either. Not with all the drinks it's absorbed for you. It's not. It's swollen and snail-like, wriggling between your fingers. Don't be scared. It's only your face. It's not like anyone's going to see it. Behold. You have no idea who this thing is, do you? It appears you're also dead. There's clearly rigor mortis on your face. Oh wait, is that an expression? Are you? Please stop. It's horrible. You're scaring yourself. You can't, can you? It's like it's not even voluntary anymore. You have worn that grin into your... What does it even mean? What is the emotion you're trying to convey? You should check yourself for a pulse, superstar. From here it looks like a cadaverous spasm. You find no sign of life on your swollen neck. However, putting your hand on your chest reveals an irregular heartbeat. You appear to be alive, for now. Like the rest of you, it comes from a bad place somewhere in the past. That's all you know for now. The fan stands still. There they both are, two identical shoes, both copiously green and indiscriminately snakeskin, reunited on your feet. Good, they're balanced, comfy. Feels like the only good thing about you right now, truth be told.
Hello, officer.
The young woman raises a cigarette to her lips. Her eyes are brown and her face is speckled with birthmarks.
No. Because you're a police officer, sir. Okay, cool. I won't, okay?
Whoa, something wants to come out of you. A bit of vomit? Thankfully you keep it down, because your body does not control you.
Sir, you've been here for 3 days. On official police business, as you put it. Couldn't say. In truth, so far, mostly drinking. Could it be because of the drinking?
She hasn't had time to put her makeup on. This is her morning cigarette. She looks tired, her beauty waning faster than it ought to at her age.
Don't be so harsh on yourself. They let almost anyone be a police officer.
Try the expression. Come on, why are you
Alcohol raises testosterone levels, especially in men. The levels remain elevated after inebriation ends and the pain begins. You seek comfort. It's only natural.
She puts out her cigarette. Something stirs in you as she's about to go. Call it an instinct, a need, the need to ask questions. It's like you said the words a million times before. She looks back at you, a light glinting off her eyes.
Yes, you're in a hostel, sir. We are in Revachol. Forever and ever.
And ever and ever. Out of the corner of your eye, you see the hair on the back of your hand standing on end. It feels
There was the usual ruckus. Loud disco music. I couldn't say. It's impossible to hear people speaking from over here. Oh, yes. Various artists. Ostentatious orchestration prime among them. Oh, were huge where I come from. I was very young then, of course. Like 7. I don't know about that. At around 2 o'clock, the disco stopped, and there was a change of pace. A slow, sad song started playing, like organ music on repeat. Yes, there was a church in there, a really small church, like the smallest, saddest church in the whole world. It was about that. That it doesn't matter anymore and that we're alone now. It was difficult to tell. Don't be. I was going out later anyway. It didn't bother me. Then you started screaming and trashed the place. A window was smashed. The tape player probably. The song stopped. And furniture too. A real destructathon. There was. I think you screamed that you didn't want to be this type of animal anymore. I may have misheard, but it was sort of memorable.
Sounds like you were in some real fundamental pain there, muscle man.
I went out afterwards. Everything was quiet by then, around 4 or 5. And that was it. It's 51. The current century? Centuries don't have numbers, they have names. And this is the civilization has existed for 8,000 years, sir. You're right. There is nothing funny about civilization. Glad to have been of assistance.
You should pick that fat, juicy cigarette butt from the tray, light it up, and smoke the living shit out of it. The living shit. Your mesolimbic reward path. Who knows what you are? A monster, a murderer, the gnome of Jeroma? You feel like a smoker, especially when you look at that juicy, succulent, seductive cigarette stub, still smoldering deliciously. How very astute of you. This renders it ineffectual. You should look for a whole cigarette, or better yet, an entire pack. Strike that. A carton. Make sure. Good. They'll make you stronger and better. You're too old to be cool now, but find cigarettes, smoke them, blam. Instantly a cool renegade man. A mystical red dragon with smoke rising from his nostrils. Plus, smoking them gives massive bonuses. The door is closed. There is no answer. You hear the shower. Still no answer. Still nothing. You should punch a fucking hole in it. You slam your fist into the vinyl. It does not produce. Not to mention, this door, as you hold the metal, you. You should totally sing karaoke here, the first chance you get. Your emotions need to be expressed. People need to know your vast oceanic soul. Utterly. And it needs to be heard. Through a PA system. By other people, whether they like it or not. Ram it up their ears, says your adrenaline gland. Who is mistakenly identified as a cop for his prominent jawline? Yes, you should sing the sad small church song from that tape you found. Thought it was obvious. Serves them right. Wipe that smirk off their face with your sad, tragic small church song. You would need another copy of the tape first, though. The one upstairs is destroyed. A man in his late 20s stands behind the counter, inspecting a stuffed seabird. As you approach, he gives you a sideways glance, then looks down again. Everything is cool between you and this guy. He's a big fan. A competent work of taxidermy. The white and brown seabird lies among piles of coasters and drying mugs. One of its wings broken. The man is trying to mend it. Looks like the bird was ripped off the shield that was used. A small engraved steel tag says, "The Great Skua, Ste Koari's Skua."
Look, your buddy is over there. Why don't you go and talk to him, okay?
He pretends not to hear you, concentrating on the bird instead.
No, I'm not the bartender. I'm the cafeteria manager.
He's very animated all of a sudden. This seems like a touch.
I have 3 cafeterias to manage. 3. Sylvie tends the bar here, not me. I'm only She just, you know.
A bespectacled man in an orange bomber jacket is tapping his foot on the floor. Looks like he's waiting for someone. As you approach, on the sleeve of his bomber jacket, as well as on its back, are the same enigmatic white rectangles as on your blazer.
Hello, I'm Kim Kitsuragi, Lieutenant, Precinct 57. You must be from the 41st.
You realize he is waiting for your name. Concentration makes you squint your eyes. Your name should be deep gold and orange, like a forest fire looming on the horizon, but mixed with the stench of liquor rising from your breath. You're 2 steps closer to it, but there are still many to go.
It looks like we had a little scheduling error on Sunday. Saturday too, actually. Have you had time to talk to the manager here? If you don't mind, we should talk to him again. Ask him for a rundown of the area, now that I'm here as well. I understand the scene is out back, right? It also wouldn't hurt to assure him the police are finally here. In full force, I mean. Have you mapped out the initial interviews? Okay, we'll have time for that after we take a look at the coroner's case. Have you removed the dead body from the tree? So, the body, where it has been hanging for 7 days straight. We should go there as soon as we are done talking to the owner.
What a shame. Get to it now. Rip that body down.
After it's been up in a tree for that long, any kind of ripping is inadvisable.
Delicate goods, filled with stinking horrors.
We all feel that way sometimes. There is no such thing as a police officer, I'm afraid. What remains is that there is a dead body in the tree. Someone has to figure out who put it there. If we don't, no one else will. But first, we have to take it down. I was sent here to meet a detective from Precinct 41. You have the insignia of the Citizens Militia on your sleeve and on your back. I suppose you could be impersonating him. You could have gotten the insignia from the black market or forged it. But for now, I'm going to set those possibilities aside. I'm not from the Inspectorate General. Internal Affairs. And I'm not them. I'm from Criminal Investigation. Yes. They're not just white rectangles. They bear a halogen watermark with the letters RCM and a pattern resembling the street grid of Revachol West. I would ask you to step into the headlights of my motor carriage, but again, it's none of my concern. I just need you to do your job. You mean you don't have a badge? Losing your identification card is a serious matter. My vehicle has a shortwave. You can use it to report your badge missing. I can see you drank last night and the night before, and that you are still drunk now. But I have seen officers go through worse. Much worse. If you need something for your headache, there is a general store nearby. But as I said, the dead body should be our #1 concern.
A painkiller would be good about now. This thing is pulsating with discomfort. The best cure for a headache is, of course, morphine. They won't have that.
Talk to the manager. Then we go out back and take the body down. After you, officer.
Hello, sweetie.
Wait, who's Sweetie?
Why, you are, officer. You're a handsome man, officer, with your mustache and your chiseled jaw and that silly dimple on your chin. Love can be cruel, sweetie. Love can be cruel. You must forgive me. I'm getting so scatterbrained. I completely forgot to introduce myself. I'm Lena. My husband Morel and I are staying with our friend Gary just down the street, but I come here for tea when they're away.
This Lena is wacky enough for the motley crew. Hire her on the spot.
Whatever do you mean? Sequence killers? Oh my. But I think you already have a partner.
A partner who needs you to help him get a corpse down from a tree. I can assure you with absolute certainty, there are no sequence killings taking place in Martinez.
Now, gentlemen, no need to squabble. I wouldn't be of much use to you anyway, sweetie. Thank you, but Martinez isn't the most wheelchair-accessible place, you see. I'd slow you down. Perhaps another time. Yes, officer. You look rather dazed. Like a stunned fox. But surely things can't be that bad. You know where we are, right? A seaside hostel called the Whirling in Rags, to be precise. And the Whirling itself is in Revachol. How would I even begin to tell you? Revachol is the most beautiful city in the world. We're fortunate to be here, you and I. I haven't seen very many other cities personally, but everyone says so. Revachol is a rare jewel. This city used to rule the world, though it has seen better days. Speaking of history, you know what year it is, yes? Perhaps, dear, perhaps. But for now, it's just the spring of 51.
The lieutenant studies you. I'm beginning to suspect that you might indeed be completely adrift in this reality. Thinks outside, the melting snow seeps into the cracks in the walls and the cobblestone streets, all the way down into the sewers. Above ground, the first maybells blossom. You can feel it, a great cold. Then the shiver passes.
I can tell that this is taxing for you, so I'll just ask one more question. What regime are we living under? What mode of government? Actually, we are not. You could say that about almost any other nation, but not Revachol. Try it one more time, officer. What mode of government? Oh no, nothing like that, dear. Revachol is a zone of control led by an alliance of foreign powers called the Coalition. We have almost no government of our own. Certainly no machines. Oh dear, this is troubling. You really ought to know that, being one yourself. There aren't any cops in Revachol, not in the traditional sense. The status of law enforcement has been a complicated matter since the revolution. But we should stop for today, sweetie. You look like you need a break. Besides, I'm not the best person to explain the big things to anyone.
She's scared now. She's realized you really are brain damaged.
A defeat, I'm afraid. The people of this archipelago tried to build something new, something different. The rest of the world? Of course, sweetie. I really don't know how to... You didn't do too well, dear. It does look like you're having trouble remembering things. History and places. Remembering reality, in a word. It's very odd.
A sigh. The lieutenant buries his nose in his notebook.
But maybe a fresh set of eyes is what the world needs. And while I'm no doctor, someone more educated in sweeping matters. Maybe you should ask.
No, I'm not an encyclopedia.
Of course. Then I don't know. Someone rich, maybe? Wealthy people are educated.
That's a good point. This doesn't look like Rich Central.
Yes, dear. I'm a paraplegic. I hope not. Although the work you are doing for all of us is quite dangerous. But not you. You're volunteering.
So you volunteered sometime in the past for the beatdown and hell of bullets?
It means I can't use my legs. I was in an accident some years back, injured in the line of duty, as they say. Oh no, far from it. Although, I did come out to watch the boys play when I was in school. Oh, those tan calves.
She blushes, surprised by her own boldness.
I was a training and development manager at a rapidly expanding mail-order shoe company. You'd think it would be a safe job, but I had to be everywhere, and, well, once I happened to be under some faulty scaffolding. I was lucky. This was almost 20 years ago, and I was compensated exceptionally well. One can only dream of such payoffs nowadays. No problem. Of course, dear. Good luck with your case.
A colourful piece of plastic is dangling from his carabiner. On the counter, rolled out of his open hand, you see it's a dock worker's ID, doubling as a shift card and a job permit.
No idea. Looks like he works for Wild Pines, the logist, possibly because there's a strike going on in the harbor. There's not much to do aside from drinking and sleeping.
Your fingers find their way into the shackle, flicking open its spring-loaded gate. The metal loop holds the plastic ID and a leather-bound pocketbook. The man emits a loud snore. Is he about to wake up? Doesn't look like it. But you never. You find a black paper note with a woman's profile on it. You slip the plastic ID card out of the loop and pocket it. No, he's looking the other way. Perhaps purposefully. The sleeping dock worker has little to say about. The man does not mind. You probably need them more than he does. There is only one way to wake this bone idol from his slumber.
Why the yelling, man? Congratulations. You've seen the future. Now, if you excuse me again, officer. Thank God, no.
The worker stares at you, his eyes dry from sleep. A web of wrinkles covers his tanned forehead.
I don't know what you're talking about, kind sir. But when
Fuck sleep. Despite the headache,
that's the name of my employer. I work. How's it going? Haven't you noticed what's going on outside? Good. Then you understand the gist of it. We would all be better off without the employers and their employment. For one, I could get some goddamn shut-eye. Nate got it. Majoret's got it. He's guarding the gate. I'm just getting some sleep. Or was.
the way he says Measurehead implies ultimate trust in this head reckoner's physical prowess. He seems like a worthy rival. You should slay him.
We are the workers, the union. We know what we need, what's right for us. Okay, I guess there's also Everard. He's in charge of the union. Yeah, what about it? You know, people die here every day. Someone's found in a ditch, another one falls in a manhole, a third one gets eaten by stray dogs. If someone has decided to die on top of a tree, then how is it my concern? I can tell you this. Trouble's ahead.
You have a pretty solid feeling that the man's not just mouthing off. He's strong, but even he has reasons to be cautious here.
You heard what I said. Draw your own conclusions. That's all I know.
The lieutenant gives you a little nod, then makes a note.
Indeed. Help yourself to some.
The dock worker doesn't answer. The man with the unimpressive beard notices you approaching. He drops the ledger he was holding and turns to the...
Mr. Gart, right?
Yes.
I am Kim Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. This is an inter-district investigation, so joining me from Precinct 41...
Are you kidding me? It's you. It's obviously you.
See? Everyone agrees it's your color scheme. We're on the right track with this name thing.
Is this what you get when you call the police now? We've been waiting for a week here.
Sir, I understand your concern, but we are...
Yes, of course.
I know it took us a while to arrive at the scene, but it also took you a while to call us. It was you who placed the call, correct?
No, I only just got here. It was probably Sylvie who called you. She usually works the bar here. I'm only...
Do you have her number?
As a matter of fact, I do.
This sounds like something you can use.
You said you just got here. From where? Are you a local?
What, of Martinez? No, I live in Jamrock. I only sometimes come here to keep an eye on the place. This is just one of the many cafeterias I manage.
But you still know your way around, yes? In case we need directions.
Yes, I know where some things are, but as I said, I don't live here. I just used to work here. And I'm not going to start working here again, if that's what you think.
I didn't imply that. Detective. I have everything. You?
Yes, he means, do you have questions for me, like a police officer would? Behind this building, there's a courtyard. They hoisted him up on a tree there. That's easy. See that door there? First you exit through that. Then, to your right, you should see a big hole in the fence. A really big one. You can get to the courtyard through there. No need for the keys. The hole is big enough for the Franco-Nigerian cavalry to fit through. Behind this building, there's a courtyard. They hoisted him up on a tree there. That's easy. See that door there? I don't know who killed him. I'm not the police. That's...
He doesn't know. He just said they hoisted him up on a tree. Who is this they?
Oh, people are saying it was the union dock workers, that it was a lynching. The locals, the customers, the people who eat here, a lot of dock workers eat here. Sylvie told me everyone knows the dock workers did it.
Did the debarders themselves tell her this, or is it a rumor?
I don't really know. You'll have to ask her. I would suppose it's because they have nothing better to do.
You mean the strike?
Yes, the strike. The man they hanged was a security guard for the harbour company, I hear. A mercenary. The unionistas probably thought they'd send a message.
The lieutenant turns the page.
She went away because none of your business. Oh my God, what is your obsession with this Sylvie person?
Let's go.
Not so fast. You owe me 130 real. Oh, you don't owe me shit. Well, officer, you're right. You don't owe me shit, you...
We do not need to assert ourselves here. But you see, he didn't.
You know, I get this all the time. Some hobo comes in here or some backpacker. You can't arrest me. I haven't done anything.
The words leave your mouth as if walking up the stairs. Everything is going fine until you reach the end and take...
Oh, so apparently I'm a bitch now. Okay, I'll be the bitch, and you'll be the broke cop who owes me money. And no one will arrest anyone because...
Sir, leash in your tongue. Officer, you need to contact your station. Ask your people for assistance with the money you owe this place. There is a shortwave radio in my car.
I'm sorry, but I can't let him stay here if he doesn't pay. He's 3...
No, there's no need.
The cafeteria manager stands silently behind the counter. By the way, where is home? The address is... But you've been at this hostel... Why did you say that? You don't really know, do you? A vague, blackened image doesn't sound like somewhere you can stay if you run out. Entertain the thought when you get the time. Maybe being a hobo and a cop has its advantages.
Can I help you? What thing? Yes, not the whole damn union, thank God. Just the nastiest and loudest. They come here in the evenings. Dumb, unruly types. Think they're big shit. But they're good customers. They place big orders and always pay on time.
We should find out who this Lord faction is, occupying the booth. Lord, we don't. We have to wait. They'll show up sooner or later. Men get hungry, even striking men. If not today, then they'll be here tomorrow.
What are you, a cook now? That's none of your business. No, you don't. Fucker. Lay off the swear words. They don't make you cool. Besides, the RCM doesn't do search warrants. I know the law. You'll just have to wait for the kitchen to open.
You do realize you can just go into the kitchen at 1300 hours. No need for superstar charm or Sambo-style antics. Sambo is an acronym for Samoan boxing. Graceful martial arts stuff. Sambo style implies stealth, cleverness, and cool. Just letting you know.
What?
By the way, you should come back to this thing.
Another thing, yes? Absolutely.
Absolutely in the...
Yes, have you got it? A lot. A lot. Like what?
You see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush that covers the plaza mosaic. Cop habit. You look at everything. Hard to say. Your vision is blurred and you're having difficulty concentrating. There are several footprints in the mud, left by work boots. Heavy workers' boots with reinforced toes and... The corpse looks at you with bulging white eyes. The face around them does not look human. It's swollen and ready to burst. His lips are fish-like and his tongue like a ball gag in his mouth. You seem to be holding your breath. A cargo belt twists his neck at an...
Active decay. It's okay to throw up, officer. No one is judging.
He's about to blow! Cop's gonna blow, Kuno!
As you breathe in, the odor comes over you. The man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and enamel boots. The material appears to be ceramic. Its clean white stands in stark contrast to the decaying flesh above the knee. The man, delicate and fragile. They feel alien to the world around you, out of place somehow.
They are armor, no boots. Technically speaking, these are sabatons. Ceramic plate, zirconium dioxide most likely. This is where the make would be. Under the heel, fair weather. Fair weather model T500 VE. I'm guessing that's vitreous enamel. This is advanced stuff. The locals probably scavenged it. It would be odd if he had more on after 7 days. We should keep a lookout for these pieces. The armor could yield information. Maybe he'll know something.
If you wear those pieces, it will help me protect your mortal coil.
No, he must have worn something precious underneath his clothes. They've removed all his clothes to get... They usually hang them completely naked for that. La puta madre, the Mazda, the besmirties and the like. This one still has his underpants.
Fucking talking about underpants.
It is. It's expensive. We've requested similar material for our tactical units for years now. The constabularies deemed it too costly. In that time, we've lost 6 men to semi-automatics. For a full set, about 4 years of wages. As a wage, it's regrettably small. But for a piece of hardware, yes, that's a lot. That's for us to find out. Mr. Gart implied he was security personnel for the... I agree. This equipment is way beyond what a guard can afford.
A small bell-like sound. Suddenly your biceps, your fist connects to the boot with the same ding. The only difference is a barely audible click underneath. Sounds like the end of a long dice roll.
Did you hear that? This is a kinetic redistributor. It spreads the incoming energy horizontally, from plate to plate. When the plates connect, there's a click. That's the sound you heard. See these lines?
Faint, organic lines cover the plates where they separate into smaller ones. The stench fills your nostrils. As you...
Stop! Pig's gonna pull his head off.
Brutal!
You're about to pull his head off.
Do it, homo!
Stop obsessing about your sexuality, officer. You are about... What are you trying to achieve anyway? You do understand the boots are steeped in cadaverine odor, don't you? You have a point there, detective. You have a point. There's no way you're getting them off. All the organic matter in his body has been flowing down into the boots. They are fused to his feet now. Why do you think the locals haven't scavenged them yet?
You're sure there's a way to peel them off. But first, the anticipation makes you crack your fingers. Feels nice. Nice and cracky.
Processing will take care of them. With the situation in the morgue, it will...
The cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt. His torso covered in tattoos, and extremities blotched pink and blue. The hangman's knot is pulled tight by the weight of the corpse below. Yellow, hard-edged polyester cuts into his neck. Above, a sliding buckle ties the belt to the branch. Oh my, there's something on the belt. A familiar word that speaks to the thirst within you. Vermilion, in yellow letters, along the length of the twisting...
No, you should not get a drink. You should perform an initial inspection of the victim's corpse. Industrial strength, the kind used for tying cargo to lorries. Yes, it looks like they used whatever was on hand, paying no attention to not incriminating them. The brief suggested as much, politically motivated by the ongoing strike. Did you not get a briefing? Okay, you should ask me for one the first moment we get. It's not merely polyester, it's steel reinforced. See these lines? This is where the wires run. I see rabbits for more than 20 strands. This makes getting him down much more problematic than I had assumed. A noose is one of those things that's easier to use one way around. I think they lassoed the branch, then pulled on the belt, buckle closes. It's what I...
The cadaver hangs from the cargo belt, limbs limp, and an intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso, from the right shoulder to the solar plexus. Each time they intersect, a small white star is formed in their crossing.
A map of the stars. I do see some similarity to astronomical charts. Great century Messinian, maybe. But this seems more particular. Customized somehow.
As if someone left out most of the night sky, filtering it through personal choice.
So am I.
He wears a wide leather belt around his waist. He takes a thin piece of milled aluminium from his coat pocket and pulls it open. Sounds like a sword being unsheathed. A small lens appears, some sort of camera.
A Trigger Sunshine. Mini.
Shit, Kuno! What the fuck is that?
An instant color camera. I have only 2 ampoules, so nobody move. I don't want to waste one.
A sound, a shrill flash, followed by the breaking of a small ampoule of glass. You see streams of color pour onto the thick, glossy piece of paper, rolling out.
In case we need it. It contains insight to the victim's person. By his build, I'd say this was a man of physical violence. The story he wanted, sure. Just don't lose it.
The glassy-eyed corpse looks by. His eyes are milky white, and these eyes used to be blue. Baby blue. Dark brown hair grows on his head.
Good. The victim is of Occidental descent. Light brown hair, blue eyes. I mean white.
The corpse is dead.
Who is he? He is me.
The corpse looks right through. As you narrow your eyes, the monster before you blurs into a violent mess of green and pink. Only the lower extremities are pink.
How should I know why you are squinting, officer? Oh. You are trying to assess lividity.
The monster comes back into focus, an explosion of color, coursing with dark marbled veins. His stomach appears pregnant with something. Black liquid streams down his thigh, and
So, what do you think?
a pool of blood and feces has eaten into the frozen mud below the man's feet. Purge liquid is dripping into it, drop by drop.
The victim appears to have contained no more than half a kilogram of digestion at the time of death.
The fuck he's saying?
Talking about shit.
Malicious laughter erupts in the yard. Sounds like seagulls.
Big said he's a...
The lieutenant's face is made of stone.
I agree. Totally dead. Dabadoob-doob dead. I do. Most of them are post-mortem. Maybe even all of them. The delinquents have made our job.
Stop talking in riddles, coin slot.
He means you fucked him up good, Kuno. Fucked him up brutal like.
I think he was upright immediately after death. Blood has gathered in his hands and feet, and his neck. The noose acted like a tourniquet, keeping the blood in his head. The hypostasis here is in tune with the hanging. That's what I think. There's always a chance. We should check for ligament marks on his neck to see if they're in tune with the belt.
But there is no breath to catch.
Are you sure we finished the preliminary examination of the cadaver?
The cadaver slowly twists.
The steel-reinforced belt presents a unique challenge. I brought chain cutters, but I don't see a good angle of approach to the belt. The cadaver is a good 1.2 meters up. Neither one of us can reach the belt without assistance. And
Yeah! Bang bang tongue.
how? It absolutely will not have...
Yeah.
They'll miss. The pigs will miss.
The lieutenant's brow is furrowed. He appears too deep in concentration to even notice what you said.
I'll blow his head off.
Take it.
Yeah. Take...
Silence. With his elbow sharp and produces a lightweight firearm. He drops a paper cartridge in the barrel, separates the scouring stick and gives the cartridge 5 tucks. Securing it, he then steps back and assumes the fellow's desk position, taking aim.
He's gonna fucking miss!
The kid's voice is drowned in a shrill blast that echoes off the...
God damn it.
A lot of things were wrong with that shot. The fellow's desk was the wrong choice. His shoulders were raised, but above all, he cannot trust it. Oh my God, that was so many
Fucking idiot! Mookabat asshole!
Kuno could have hit it easy, but then Kuno's not fucking handicapped, is he? Kuno's sorry too. Kuno...
The lieutenant doesn't say a word, just looks at the...
No, we are lucky. Any more mistakes? I have to say, it's beginning to look unlike...
You know, you don't feel like to take his gun and show him how to use it.
It's bad as it is.
They only...
Oops.
This is the...
Officer, why do we only have one gun? That is even more unfortunate than the badge. You need to contact your station.
Yeah, take it, you fucking banana!
The cold piece of bakelite and gunmetal is surprisingly light. Your fingers fit right. You've held this.
The fuck are you waiting for, Kuno?
Kuno is silent. The buckle comes into focus in your sight.
Why don't you just shoot yourself in your mouth? Or what? You gonna fuck me? Do it! Set me free!
Don't.
Do it! Put it right here, Mulka! Right!
intense shit, copper.
Could waved his gun! It wasn't...
Your field of view narrows. The branch slowly moves, becoming entirely too...
Look, he's crying! You gonna cry now, fucking faggoty?
The buckle explodes into tiny pieces, coming loose with a whir. With your hand numb from the recoil, you look at the body slumped down, looking straight at you.
Communism.
It takes a millisecond for the association to flash within. Then the rigor in his muscles gives up, and he smashes sideways into the spring mud.
Fuck you, Kurpale!
Ace is high.
You could add an ace's low to it. The high arrives with a sharp slap. Chill. But then it does, and with furious precision. The lieutenant is not one to leave an ace's low hanging.
I knew these guys were
Kuno cracks with laughter.
I knew they suck each other off!
We will perform a field autopsy and determine the cause of death. But before... Excuse me.
Slumped on the ground like that has not improved the way the corpse smells.
The stench is getting bad. I'm sorry to interrupt the jubilations here. In the meantime, we should try to interview Evrard Clare, the leader of the Union. Harbor property was clearly used in the hanging. The harbor just east of here. Or we could ask around for the representative of the logistics company. My initial... Yes.
The rotting man. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is? Unfortunately, no. And hygienically? I suggest I handle the physical part of the autopsy and you take notes. In your paperwork, officer, just fill out the field autopsy form. You've lost your paperwork, haven't you?
Fucking runkari!
Man up, pig. You're embarrassing, Kuno.
Somewhere else?
Now they only...
Officer, what haven't you lost? Yes, barely. I can give you my paperwork. There's an autopsy form there. Several, actually. Right. The autopsy form is near the end.
The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists, describing the condition of his skin and organ. Above those, an 11 field.
That's you. Not an energetic start to another.
Pig's messed up. Kuno feels pity.
Just leave it empty.
The corpse lies there.
KK57. Next. NA. Roughly 50.
The corpse looks ageless, like meat on a hook, teeming with opportunistic microorganisms, letting out a foul.
Mondial. Subgroup Occidental. As per your observation.
The pudgy mess looks neither mondial nor
Fucky!
Male.
Pig's gonna.
naively. The lieutenant does not.
We're still going with March 4th. 51. What else? 9. Body identified by is non-applicable. 10.
KK57 05.
None. At least not after the initial examination. Interfering with the body's position or wounds post-mortem.
A silent nod. Your central nervous system recognizes this.
We should start the post-mortem.
The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings.
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodine, I think. Let's see.
See? It's
Babrodine, yes.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing.
The boots are ceramic, vitreous enamel. There are few tattoos. The upper torso is covered in a single, continuous tattoo, resembling a map of the night sky. It reaches from the right shoulder to the heart. The ink is blue and white. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings, to be added to the case files as document A1. The photo is taken on the scene, using a Trigat Mini. The deceased has a cargo lashing belt around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color yellow. Length 3 meters. There is a buckle on the other end. Well-nourished, athletically built.
The spine is bent more than the lieutenant compensated.
Of course, I undercompensated. Body hair is light brown.
His hair feels wet, soaked. The stench is... There's brilliantine in... More hair sticks to your hand. For a fraction of a second you feel... What was what? Brilliantine.
Lividity is consistent with hanging.
fucking low velocity. You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Talking shit.
In addition, there are bite ligature mark. Steel wiring. We get chain cutters, then try with those. Damn corpse. We had a good rhythm going.